I'm Nate.
I'm Rox.
This is the Bourbon Barrel. And it's a little chilly in here, so I've got a hoodie on, and apparently he just has no, feeling in
No.
his anywhere.
Oh no. And this is gonna sound dirty.
And
I
then
wear these
insert
pants on
from here.
purpose because I have sweatpants
Oh,
underneath.
okay.
So that's why I keep these
Sure.
pants because I can layer up in the winter. So
I just watched him take his pants off, and I
it's
didn't,
true.
didn't look away.
One pair. So the second pair will cost you. But
That's
anyway.
fair. So today for you, now that we've officially gone off the rails,
How you been drinking?
we have barrel barrel picks, not barrel picks,
Single barrel.
single barrel. Thank
Single
you.
barrels. Barrel.
Single barrels.
There you go.
We've got the Four Roses single barrel expression for you at clocking in at 100 proof.
True story.
Then we have the Russell's Reserve clocking in at 110.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we got the Knob Creek 9, which is clocking in at a buck 20. So,
Right. Yeah, so we're going up 10 proof points per bottle, and
mhm.
we're at 20% alcohol. No, wait, 5% alcohol, 10% alcohol.
10
5%.
proof points is 5%.
5%, right?
So,
And divide, not multiply. Like,
this goes from 50% to 60%.
this is why I said my wife's better with all the
Math
technological
is power,
advantage.
kids. Stay in school.
I can do it. I just think fast. I can do that one. So
Story
I've
of my life.
never had any of these exact ones. I've had something from Four Roses, obviously stuff from Turkey and stuff from Jim Beam and Knob Creek. I've never had any of these three and I'm 99% sure I've never had these. Have you had any of these?
I think I've had the Four Roses single barrel.
Okay.
I wasn't a big fan of the one I had. So with the single barrels, I know this because I'm pretty sure my dad did this. When he went down to Kentucky with some of his buddies, they got different barrels.
Yes, I
So
remember you mentioning
it's either like a hit or miss. Like some barrels suck, some barrels are good. So
sucking barrels
his
from our first
yeah,
couple
his
episodes.
friend got a really good barrel for the single barrel. He got a really ass sucking barrel.
There you
So
go.
yeah.
Well,
So hopefully this is a good barrel.
yeah, hopefully, obviously.
So
And
obviously, this
no,
being single barrels is hit or miss, and you're probably not going to be able to find the same barrels that we have. So
right.
that being said, just keep that in mind. Um, I know that a lot of places try to strive for consistency as far as like keeping everything the same temperature, humidity, and all that, and doing the same thing over and over again to get that consistency. So maybe it's close, but then again, it could be wildly different
Right.
depending on the season, when it's released, and all that. So
Very true. Very true. So,
bottoms up.
absolutely.
Let's do it.
So let's see. Four Roses single barrel. No, okay, so Four Roses is known for having 10 recipes. It's got five yeast strains and two mash bills, so they have 10 recipes. More often than not, the way I understand it now after watching some stuff last night is that the Four Roses single barrel is almost always one specific recipe, and it's OBSV. And again, I struggle if you can see it on here. I don't understand when it's always these four letters. If you see four letters on there, that front thing has letters and numbers. So I don't know if but these are always letters. OBSV, and the O and the S never change. The O stands for Old Prentice, and that's because the Four Roses Distillery is where the Old Prentice Distillery used to be when it first opened. It was called Prentice Distillery, not Four Roses. So the O will never change, and the S never changes because that is for the. I will remember this, but it's the S never changes. The B and the V change. The V is the yeast strain, and the B is the mash bill, and it's the B is the higher rye, and the other one's E. So you'll either be OBS or OES all the time. And the V changes like 10 different ones it can be, but it's almost always V for the single barrel. But B is the high rye, and E is the lower rye of the two mash bills Four Roses use.
So I see none of those letters on here. They have
See, and I was
it's
so confused. And
it's
I still am.
Warehouse TN,
I thought that just, yeah, and I don't, yeah,
and then it's barrel number 59-3M. So I'm assuming that this is like how they distinguish their Rickhouse Ricks.
I'm thinking you have to go
And
online and enter it on their website. It
yeah,
might tell you. That's my
and
guess.
Warehouse TN could either mean 10 or Tennessee, or I don't know.
See,
Yeah,
I thought Tennessee too because it's just TN. I was
yeah,
like, wait, see what the hell?
or some type of anime character. But
But and they always proof their single barrels down to 100 proof. So it's not single barrel proof
right,
or
it's a single barrel that is 100 proofed.
but it's highly well liked throughout everything I watch. For instance, I just watched a Fred Minnick where he was cheersing his father-in-law who passed away, and he was using this, and he was talking about how much he loves Four Roses single barrel and Four Roses in general.
Fair.
And honestly, and we've done a Four Roses episode. I want to
Hmm.
learn more just to have on hand. I don't
Yeah,
keep
kind of like my
Four
Wild Turkey
Roses.
101. I still gotta buy it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would love to find the limited edition they put out every year, but I've never
Mhm.
seen or heard of it. I put my name on the list at
Mhm.
Foster's just
Yeah,
in case he gets one, and nobody else happened to say it. I guess,
true, true.
but I know they do one every year called limited edition, and it's usually on a lot of hot top lists. Like it's Bourbon Night had it win their best bourbon of the year in 21, and it was a third
Mhm.
best last
So apparently this year they got some blowback because all their like top bourbons or best bourbons of 22 were all like humble brags, like I got this bottle, I have this
year.
bottle. Like it's impossible to get these things, but we have
Not
them.
to crap on them or Hollywood, but they're becoming kind of Hollywood. Like they get things you can't get,
Hmm.
and they've kind of done all these reviews on a lot of
Right,
these things you can always get. So it's
but
again, but they do their lives and they're doing their lives. They chat and they're normal and they're but then they're still pulling out stuff like, oh,
yeah.
this is the 17-year from only barrel ever made, and you know,
Now, to be fair, there's not a big market for that kind of stuff because there's not a lot of it around. And it's cool that someone to their credit, like they started out not being able to do those things because they
right,
didn't have the connections, they didn't have the ability to get them. Now that they do, you can actually see someone get those bottles, try them out here. That's pretty cool because
yeah,
that's something that a lot of people are never going to get the experience or chance to do. So the fact that it's out there online, that they're recording their experience with these things, I think is pretty cool. But that's just my
yeah.
opinion.
Oh,
Like,
I think it's
I,
cool.
I understand that there's a lot of people who jealous or pissed because it's like, what the hell, man? Why would I? So if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Like, if it's not something that entices you or you enjoy, then don't waste your time. But I mean, you don't need to crap on people.
Right, right. Trying to crap on them. Like I
Right.
said, I still watch their lives. They're very entertaining. But when I go to do research,
Mm,
if I research Four Rows of Single Barrel, it goes to a video they made 5 years ago.
yeah.
That says 5 years ago on it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So I mean,
I'll still
you
watch
can
it and get their take.
and you
It's
can always update videos, things like that. Like, okay, this was 5 years ago. This is like you can, and it would be such a huge pain in the ass to basically buy the small bottles to take reserves out of everything and label it and have like a library of all these little. This is the Four Roses single barrel from 5 years ago. We're gonna try it against this one. No,
yeah, right, right, right.
immediately no.
With you, 100%. I yeah, no, and they did what they did to get where they got.
Yes.
I'm not.
Yeah. So
I still love it's Bourbon
the
Night.
fact that they can get those things now just shows you that they've grown their channel and their abilities uh, so much so that I mean it's possible for anyone really, like because
Yeah,
they started out not doing those things. But
yep. It's
that's a hell of a tangent to get off on, and if you don't agree with me, let me know. Put a comment down. Say yeah, sure.
watch any even the whiskey tribe that's got the most people.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
whiskey tribe's got like 500,000 subscribers or
sure.
something, right? And
Yeah,
they do the basketball and all that. But they're so funny and down to earth. But
right.
but again, if I do this and you Google them, it's gonna or YouTube their take on it. It's gonna say 5 years ago and stuff.
Yeah,
It's still the same bottle. I still watch it. I still use their information, and it's
this
like
could be that bottle because there's a lot of dust on there, buddy.
yeah. I bought it like last year. I've had it for a year at least. So and for the price point, people, this one's in where we live in
Hmm.
upstate New York, 45-ish, 42,
Yeah.
45. This one was 60, but I've never seen this one on a shelf until I saw it and then I bought it.
Hmm.
Never. I've seen Russell's 10 year.
Yeah.
I've seen Rare Breed. I've seen the Kentucky Spirit. But I've never seen this one only on videos. So as soon as I saw it, I bought it. It's still on the shelf. I noticed it
Yeah.
wasn't like he got one thing and now they disappeared. He's
Right.
still got numerous bottles. I'll probably grab another one unless this tastes like vomit or
Well,
hooker
and
fist.
so to be fair,
Hooker spit.
yeah,
Sorry.
boy.
There you go.
Uh,
What a heck of a correction that was.
it was. We did just open all of these just before the video.
There you
So
go.
the fact that all of these are just open,
Hmm. You should give
yeah,
us a fair take on all three
we'll
in
see. Mhm.
this medium, I
Yeah,
guess, like
yeah.
because they're all brand new.
But
Um,
also, as we've expressed in previous episodes, letting things air out is always like
they're huge.
a night and day
I have
difference.
no idea. I have
Which is
no
kind of
idea.
why I'm like letting this thing meld in the glass for
I
a
truly, as a
while.
newbie, thought that was kind of maybe just like,
Ritzy, you don't know
yeah,
what you're talking about. Like,
whatever,
whatever. Like, I'm gonna drink because I like to drink. Like,
right, right.
back in
Which
my day, we had one drinking game. It was
like
called Drink.
these different classes, I still stand by. I don't have the talent yet to
To
necessitate
discern
this because if I and then I like Chad will be like just stirring this so
vigorously.
yeah, and I'm like, geez, he's gonna break it apart. There's just gonna be like But there's so many. But man, the opening up thing,
Hmm.
man,
Yeah,
I
it
really wouldn't
is.
have guessed.
It's really wild. Um,
Yes.
well, cheers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is I was tasting while you were talking,
No,
so
no.
but I'm sorry. That's how it works better when one of us talks, the other one drinks. It seems like it's a good
That's fair.
pattern. You can tell
Uh,
it's a high rye
I was gonna
immediately.
say there's definitely a grainy flavor to this.
I felt the heat almost
Yep.
immediately for a
Hmm.
hundred,
Yep.
but it's good. I'm gonna immediately say I like it. I'm not saying I
I,
dislike it.
it's not. It doesn't taste like a bourbon to me. It tastes like a rye.
Interesting. Okay. Well, it's like I think I knew the well, that's the theme thing. I think maybe in here somewhere.
Like that is a super high rye.
It's 130 something percent and one there. Then this is the higher of the two. This is the B, not the E.
Hmm.
Um, well, it's supposedly the one show I watched last night. I watched one of Whiskey Dictionary, one of Bourbon Real Talk, and
Yeah.
one of them said that it's always OBSV.
Yeah.
Now, when they do single barrels,
And that again, that leads to the fact that they're trying to be consistent in their release.
right,
That would
right.
make sense.
Roses. I mean, eh, I feel like we've seen that or learned that Four Roses, as a general rule, not counting the LE because we've never got our hands on it, they're basically always kind of batching and blending. It's never, you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
small batch select. You know what I mean? Or
Which I have both of those, yeah,
the
somewhere.
bottom shelf regular one that we tried too is the only one of all their bourbons that has all their strains in. Like all everything they have is there's
Hmm.
some of that in there one way or another, one place or another. So it just seems like but they get a great reputation too. I like Four Roses stuff.
So they didn't used to. Like this was a company
Not
that was
even.
like on the verge of bankruptcy way back in the day, and then it got bought out by like a Japanese company and
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
reinvigorated.
I might
And
have
there
been
are,
Seagrams. I
I
might have
can
heard
imagine,
Seagrams. I could have.
but yeah, now there's expressions of Four Roses that you can't get in the States now, which is wild.
What did I say the last letter was? V. V is delicate fruit.
I tasted no fruit.
VKOQF. Delicate fruit, slight spice, rich fruit, floral essence, and herbal notes are the
You're a
five.
you're a delicate fruit.
I am a delicate.
So Russell's,
Russell's, did we? I
I've
finished the.
poured. Oh, you drank?
Oh, no, I finished the
Yeah, I
Four
finished
Roses.
the
I
Four
didn't realize you
Roses.
had poured
Yeah, I poured
the.
Russell's, letting it air out, trying to spoof for time
And we,
by talking about Captain America.
right, right.
That is America's ass.
We, God. I'm so excited to try this because I just love turkey stuff usually.
Hmm.
Um, we slash I, depending. I have not. I think there was one, and I almost think it was the Russell's 10 year that we weren't that big fans of at the
That is
time.
correct.
That being said, I probably never let it air out and probably
Just
just
drank
drank
the
it
hell
down
out of it.
because we did it on the show, and at that time I didn't have that knowledge, and now I'm learning as we go.
You don't learn today.
That's right. So, is there a nose to this? Well, I mean, there is a nose. Tell me you're blowing.
Smells like desperation.
It's light. It's a light nose.
Yeah,
I'm not getting a lot.
there's a little bit of a grainy smell, a little bit of an ethanol-y smell, but I'm not picking up any like notes of anything in particular.
Specific.
Nothing's popping out.
It's if anything maybe floral, not fruit. But it's
Yeah,
light, but
like
it's a light.
I feel like based on the nose, this is gonna be very bland, kind of maybe spicy, but not
Probably lower rye than that now Creek is my
yeah.
guess.
But
Better than
I'm guessing that I'm gonna get a burn on this one based on the nose.
probably. But
Mm,
again, I bet you if it airs out, I bet you a year from now or 6 months, if
yeah,
it's down here and I bring it back, we'll be like, that's delicious.
magically delicious.
It's kind of like a way to force yourself to be patient. It's like a lesson in patience. Like you want to keep drinking it,
In the beginning, it is,
right?
but you figure if you've got other bottles that have been open,
Right.
then you're just rotating stock.
That's
Like, oh, this one's
Well, it
been
makes you
open.
open more bottles for one.
That's
So
true. That's
therefore,
true.
you've immediately created a time limit. We just don't know what that time limit really is. But
Someday.
I haven't lost the bottle to my knowledge, quote unquote, where it
Right.
tasted. But then again, I'm the bourbon dumpster. So the first person to lose a bottle will probably be him because
I'm pretty
he's
sure we already did with that
which one?
the rabbit hole.
Oh, the Derringer.
No,
Oh, the first one. What's
the
that? The
first
double
rabbit
crank.
hole. The high gold, not the high gold. What is it? How is it?
Highball's the black one, isn't it? And blue is something else, and green is something else.
Cave Hill.
Cave Hill. Oh,
Yeah,
High Gold's the greener.
this one.
Oh, you think we lost that one? That
Yeah,
specific bottle?
yeah, that exact bottle right there. I didn't drink it because it tasted like butt compared to the other one. It kind of had started to like when we talked about it, we said it kind of started to fall apart already. So
Right.
I'm gonna say that one's lost, but
We
throw
should
it in.
try
I don't want to do that.
I want to know if it's falling apart completely.
Well, then that's all you, sir. You can have it. You take it home.
That's that's got a rich flavor.
Hmm.
Um, the burn is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I kind of switched it around my mouth a little too, so I
Sure.
don't always do that.
There is on the back end, but it's not unpleasant.
I've had a lot worse 110s for the
It's
burn.
almost, honestly, it's almost like a mint burn. Like you know how like you if you've either like brushed your teeth or like you had some gum and then you go outside and it's cold and you inhale
Yeah,
that kind of burn.
there you go. That
But not bad.
no, that's a decent 110.
And it's not unflavorful. Like I you can taste it. There's not a lot to taste, but it's not a bad taste that it leaves.
It's rich and warm and an
Hmm.
immediate rich warmth to me, and it left pretty quickly.
Hmm.
It didn't hold,
Yeah, but no,
which
I mean brand new open, not bad.
right.
Not bad at all. And for
Yep.
the price point, that's not bad.
Right. No, I was so excited. Like I said, turkey, anything turkey, essentially. I'm gonna give it a shot if I can, to the point where I bought that Bond and Lillard because I heard they were contract distilling through Turkey. You
Nice.
know, so and then I said juice, not juice, just so you're paying. Um, they
Easy there, Kanye.
I'm saying right. Hey, it's just yay. All right. I think he got rid of the con. I think it's
Yee.
just yay.
I think it's yee.
Yee. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So God, like every time I say something stupid, I should change my name from Rocks to Roe,
I
or
mean,
like
the only one that I know has ever pulled that off is Sean Puffy Combs.
P Diddy, Puff Daddy. Yeah,
He's
true.
he's changed it a lot, and people
He
still know who he
has.
is.
This is very true. God,
Hasn't really worked for Kanye.
no, not at all. Not at all.
But no, not a bad bourbon. Not a bad bourbon at all.
We're still drinking the Russells, right?
No, yeah,
Well,
I poured the knob.
I haven't poured the knob.
I poured the
So many jokes with knob.
knob.
Like
Yeah,
there just is. So,
it's a
but
big lump with knobs.
I
It
did
has the
mention,
joke.
okay, so he mentioned this during the thing, but still, the way he mentioned this, it's just playing a part, I guess, to say it. Maker's Mark, which we're not doing, is the only major Kentucky distillery that rotates their barrels. The only one.
Interesting.
And the only that's I don't know why I wrote that down, only because he said the only one, I guess, and the other
Hmm.
ones just don't. I thought somebody might
They just
still.
let it chill, just hang
Right.
out.
And then another thing, which I know you got that bottle of Kentucky Spirit, which is also a single barrel, and I have one of them, this, that, and the other. I was listening to Jason from the Mash and Drum talk about some of those things because he went and did some Russell's picks, and he he had a video where it showed him going doing it and how they did it and stuff like that. And and the guy who went through it with him was, I want to say, Bruce Russell, who's Eddie's son, because it was Eddie, then it was Jimmy, or Jimmy, Eddie, and then now it's Bruce. And Bruce is in charge. And
Bruce Almighty.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was cool to watch. And he talks about how if your single barrel says A or B for the warehouse, those are the two oldest warehouses they have. Those are their old original warehouses back to the however long ago it started. The oldest ones.
And this is
And
for
Russell's turkey,
okay.
anything turkey, but it's on yours and mine, which not this.
Okay.
For some reason, this is single barrel, but it's not listed. But on our single barrels of Kentucky
Of Kentucky
Spirit, it's
Spirit.
listed, and yours says B and mine
Oh,
says A.
so we are old.
We have the two oldest warehouses. He also said he said turkey heads like to hunt warehouse F, and that one's in Camp Nelson. This one was in Tyrone. It's a huge place, obviously. They
Yeah.
have different campuses, probably. But Camp Nelson, which has Warehouse F, people apparently look for that. So if you find a single barrel Warehouse F, or Warehouse F, that would be kind of
That's the
cool too.
one.
Apparently, I guess I don't know,
That's the one, Marv. That's the silver
but
tuna.
that's kind of like the
Hmm.
glasses to me. Like, would I really be able to tell the difference? Maybe I don't
Maybe, I
know.
don't know. Maybe there's something special about
Yeah, it's true.
F.
Is there?
I don't know. They let us know.
Well, I literally wrote this down as a question. Is single barrel still a single barrel with large differences from barrel to barrel if your distiller is the size of like a beam or a turkey or a Four Roses? Because if they proof all these down to 100 and
They're
things like
they're
that,
batching each barrel.
and they only have Beam only has two recipes. They only have two, and then oh, this is funny, and I'm not going to name which shows these were because one probably right and one probably wrong. But I watched two shows, very prominent shows I watch all the time. One said that Knob Creek is the same recipe as Basil Hayden's, and the other one said Knob Creek is not the recipe for Basil Hayden's. It is the recipe for Jim Beam stuff, which is the difference between 63% corn and 27% rye versus 76% corn and 14% rye.
So I thought
And those are
that
the two they have.
so Basil's is basically liquid down, like
OG.
watered down Old Granddad,
Right.
which
And that
I
one
like Old
supposedly
Granddad and I
is
hate Basil Hayden. So
that's the 63, 27, and 10.
mhm.
And the Jim Beam is 76% corn, which Jim Beam always tried to keep up with Jack Daniels. Jack
Right.
Daniels is 80%.
So I don't know that
So I
I
don't,
would buy the Knob Creek story because Knob Creek tastes nothing like Basil Hayden, and Basil Hayden sucks.
well, and the one guy said on his show, I'm not going to say which one, he said it was the first time he ever got to update a Wikipedia page because Wikipedia had it this way and he updated it and it went through or whatever was
Like
approved.
you're incorrect.
That is not
Incorrect.
Basil Hayden's, it's Jim Beam. So this, according to him,
Interesting.
is 76% corn as opposed to 63. The
Okay.
barley's always 10%. It's just
So
the rye and the corn.
uh, on a more personal note, as far as getting these things tasted and
Mm.
such, I notice every time I put like a Maker's Mark Wild Turkey Four Roses product up against a Knob Creek tastes vastly different than any other thing. Like it's always like
I get it.
if I'm tasting them and I have a Knob Creek in there to taste, it's always so much different than everything else.
I understand, and I think I tie in where I once mentioned that everybody that I watch, any show ever talks about anything being period, really,
Mhm.
being nutty. They're always like nuts, 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 nuts. And I'm like, I mean, I like nuts. I'm good with, I like Cajun peanuts and stuff.
Sure.
But I never, I still don't. I've gotten a peanut buttery flavor once in a while from things. I don't even remember which things, but
Hmm.
I don't immediately drink any of these and think, oh, the nuttiness. I just don't.
Yeah.
It's just not me yet, I
No,
guess.
it's just it's always wild to me. I don't know because like if I start with Knob Creek and I go to something else and they taste so much different, I'm like, wow, one of these sucks. But really, they don't.
Right,
It's just they're so different.
right,
I
right.
don't know.
The whole thing is just there's just so many tentacles. Like I literally was watching last night thinking eventually it gets to a point where it's not that I'm not interested, but it's that I'm not to that point where I'm with those people yet where I can understand it the way they did because I haven't learned
Mhm.
what they've learned to
Right.
get there.
Yeah.
So because the different warehouses and the different just whether or not they're rotating their barrels and whether or not it's this or that recipe and oh, anyway.
Have you poured?
No,
You
I'm
should
not.
pour.
I'm gonna,
I'm a sniff.
you gonna sniff?
I'm a sniff.
Well, all right. You shouldn't get blow your nose into
Nah, not today.
That was oh, that side was noisier. That's funny because
Dude, if
it's
you inhale that deeply in this, you're gonna burn your nostrils because that's 120 proof.
fair enough. And this was we got a synthetic cork on it.
That makes sense. It's 60% alcohol. You don't want to blow your cork
All right.
in the knob.
This is where I'm pretending to be more grown up than I actually am because
Right,
I'm not gonna
adulting.
blow my cork on the knob.
Pinky out, sir. Pinky out.
Anyway, my God, this recently came back. This Knob Creek Single Barrel Reserve wasn't really on the shelves for a while
Right. Like
during COVID, maybe
I've seen like the 9 year regular, the
9 year,
12
12,
year, 15 is very
18.
expensive. I've never seen the 18.
I've seen it once, maybe, but it was like 300-400 bucks
That
or
makes
something.
sense because the
I don't remember.
it's like 120 for the 15.
15, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
I had a bottle of it once. It was delightful.
it's you did. It was like the first episode or second, one or the other. Like
It
when
was.
and it was. It's so weird to me to watch that and think like we should. I wish we could taste that now. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like we've grown in ways, and now if we would have left that open, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then who knows what would have came of that? But it
So hush hush, but there is a bottle of it down here somewhere.
is
Just
it yours?
no, it's not open either,
Yeah,
so we're not touching it.
yeah, no,
But when it gets open,
right.
I know a guy.
Yeah, that's possible. So, oh hey, look! Shout out to my wife. I got this for Christmas. May contain whiskey. She gave me a lot of whiskey stuff for Christmas. She's awesome.
Nice.
I didn't, she really hit it out of the park. So it was really cool. Thank you very
Awesome.
much. Love you.
Cool, cool.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, let's give it. I mean, it's 120 proof, so
Yeah,
I get
it's
ethanol immediately.
buddy. Mm-hmm. That'll put hair on lots of places.
Well,
Mm.
I'm, I would
Don't
prefer
say
it if
you're
it
not.
didn't, because like from here down I'm a monkey, so I'd prefer it
Ah,
if I didn't grow more hair, unless it's on my head, because I don't have any up here.
I made a nice shave today. Made myself pretty.
Look at you looking all smooth.
Like a baby's bottom.
Oh my God.
So that's warm
It is,
for sure.
but it's not abrasive, at least to me.
The back
It
end
didn't
is
bother
the
me.
back end is a little sweet, little bit of a spice, like a tingling on the tongue.
Right.
Um,
It's warm. It's
I'm
not
really
getting
glad
warm.
we did this way as far as like 100 proof, 110, 120, because we built up to this so that it's not like if you just started with this, it'd probably be super abrasive.
Yeah. You pioneered that for our show
Hmm.
a while back, where every time we do this, you're like, let's go up and proof.
Yeah,
And sometimes I was thinking there was some reason to do it a different way, and but he's absolutely correct in that. This, especially when it's different things
yeah,
too, and we're like not just kind of going nuts like
yeah.
Bonanza shows where we're
Not
just like
everything must go.
yeah. But he's absolutely right. Yeah, that would have been if we'd gone down.
Hmm.
I
You would have been like, this is water, and this
This is
hurt.
too hot.
It
This
would have
is
been very. I feel like it almost would have been very Goldilocksian, where like this one's too hot, this one's too cold, this one's just right.
Goldilocks.
Yeah.
So okay, now we didn't.
Whereas it was more like, okay, we enjoyed this, and because we enjoyed those, now this one doesn't seem so bad.
But is it okay? So is there a flavor you pull out at all though? Do you okay? Do you even still? Is there nutty to you? Do you? I mean, insert all the jokes you want. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah. There's knob and nutty. I mean, we got
No,
jokes. Okay,
no,
we
I
can
don't.
go straight stand up right now, both of us.
Honestly, I don't taste the nuttiness so much as I taste the. It's
It's like caramel and
yeah.
maybe cinnamon.
There's definitely cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Definitely getting cinnamon. Yeah.
So I'm watching the
Really?
show yesterday with I was watching a Bourbon Real Talk episode where they put their five him and his buddy Wes, who's on some of his shows with him,
Mhm.
put up their five kind of daily sippers and they're talking about them. It's a new episode too, it's a week
Yeah.
old. And they said he starts talking about he's very verbal about Basil Hayden. And he's like, I don't buy Basil Hayden
I don't
because I
either.
can buy Old GD. I don't
Yep.
need to do that.
100%. I
And
agree on
Wes is,
everything.
but he also mentions that like the red cask wine thing, he's like, you can't get that for they didn't make it for OGD, so if you want to try it, you gotta try Basil Hayden. All right, whatever. But they're talking and talking and talking. It's like, and then Basil Hayden's gonna be $40, and your OGD is gonna be like $15 or whatever.
And
And
it's
it's
a
the
higher proof.
exact same thing, and it's a
Yep.
higher proof. And Wes looks right at him and goes, "They must have expensive water." And like I've never heard expensive water, and I had a few drinks, but I was dying laughing. I was like, "Oh my god!"
It's that
Basil
voice of
Hayden
water,
said,
dude. No, Basil Hayden.
"The water must be just liquid gold."
If there is one lesson I can impart on anyone who ever views this, it's to never buy Basil Hayden
Again,
ever.
if it's
And
smoke,
nope,
if it's red
nope,
cask,
nope.
and you're a Beam fan,
Immediately no.
see, there's two of us, and I'm just saying, I haven't done it. I still haven't
Don't
done
do
it.
it.
You bought the subtle smoker. You bought
There's a
the other
toasted
one,
over there.
toasted.
It's
Right.
still shit.
It's
Don't
hey,
Basil
and
Hayden,
you like toasted
dude. I
berries.
love toasted barrels.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like there's a ranking to things. There is like Town Branch
Try
down
some.
here. Then there's like Basil Hayden. Any Basil Hayden is like right here. And then there's everything else, even the shittiest
Try.
things. There's like, Jefferson's, they just see whatever
Yeah,
batch
it's
we
weird.
did.
Is that wood or is that
That's wood.
synthetic? It is
That
something.
is in fact wood.
All right. I
Like
got wood.
Kenny Rogers said, it's the wood that makes it good. Dude, you remember those Kenny Rogers roasters?
Oh yeah.
I love that place. I'm sad. There's only one left in the entire world and it's in China.
Wow. No, I did not know that.
Fun fact about Kenny Rogers roasters that you didn't know you needed to know.
Are they gonna make a Netflix thing like the only Blockbuster that's still left out in Oregon?
I doubt
People
it.
go there on vacation to see Blockbuster from across the world.
Dude, can you like it's like the mecca of old shit.
I'm not gonna lie. When I watched that documentary,
I
I
gotta
kind of
go.
thought,
Maybe we should
no. If I was ever that way, I wouldn't make
Mhm.
a trip there. We're in New York. It's in Oregon or
Mhm.
somewhere like that, Washington. But if I was ever out there because of some other reason, went to see Jesse, I don't know what, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I'd be like, how far is that Blockbuster? You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yes, I know I'm in Oregon, but where's that black?
I'm sure the guys from the Bourbon Barrel in front of the only Blockbuster is something you'd see on not on your other bourbon shows.
People would be like, dude, how old is this show?
Right? They're both kind of bald. They're both thing, and they're always I would want to go. I would want to go.
Hmm.
Absolutely. But if I was close by, I wouldn't make the trip for it.
No,
So no,
no,
but
of course not. That would be
that
silly.
you got a glass.
Yeah, what's up?
Taste this right now. Just take a tiny taste again. I just want to see.
I'm gonna,
Um,
I'm gonna clean the palate
there's
out.
no yeah. There's no like it's not a bad thing. I just we said cinnamon both of us on this. There's some
Hmm.
cinnamon
Yeah,
kind of flavors to it, right? And last night when I was watching, I don't have down what show said what, but somebody said about Four Roses Single Barrel. It might have been Fred Minnick because I'm not sure. I watched something else about the Four Roses Single Barrel last night,
hmm,
and he said cinnamon vanilla cake. And I tasted this, then I went down 20 points and tasted this, and I got the flavor more out of this than I did the first time I tasted it today.
interesting.
Okay, but after going to this one and thinking cinnamon, and then I got here and I was like, oh, it's there you go. Yeah, cinnamon vanilla cake. I understood what he was saying, sort of. I'm trying to develop my palate and understand things. I don't know that you'll say the exact same thing, but it was more obvious to me because I just went
It's
from
definitely
120 down to 100.
it's definitely sweeter.
Right. There you see, sweeter, that's the whole thing too, in a way. That's not quite, but it's, you know what I mean? It's in part of it.
I don't know that I taste vanilla cake, but
No, I mean, I don't, but it's something, yeah, the sweeter is basically a better way to put
it's
it.
definitely sweeter the second time around after having gone up that much
But
improved.
I think I could recognize maybe a hint of cinnamon here after having this one and going back to this one because I thought cinnamon here and then I went to this one and he had said cinnamon. And I was like, yes, I get it a little bit. Maybe not as pronounced.
Maybe we just
Maybe
make like
cinnamon's a hotter thing.
cinnamon vanilla cake and eat that.
That's we
I
could yeah.
mean,
I mean
I'm feeling
cinnamon
feeling
cinnamon cinnamon
cinnamon. That's gonna be a
cinnamon
new term to describe bourbons. The cinnamon.
cinnamon.
In a minute, cinnamon, cinnamon, vin, vin.
That's it. We gotta go to Blockbuster. So that's all there is to it. Blockbuster must be had. I think I got yeah all nonsense on here that like I was kind of pointing out of what little things I caught last night again while drinking. So, but trying to learn some stuff about this. It's like he said too, though. The single barrels you're gonna be give or take. You know what I
A
mean?
little different either way.
Yeah. A lot of them are good. I mean,
I
I
don't.
mean,
There's not like
this one by the way was around $60 too. It was
yeah.
the same as those 50, $60.
I mean, there's not a loser among them.
No.
They're all different.
Yep.
They're good in their own separate ways.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
there's
three different distilleries, Beam
yeah.
and Turkey and Four Roses. So
Hmm.
and they're none of them are even under the same umbrella to my knowledge.
That's fair.
So but yeah, I don't know. I love everything Turkey. I found some things with Beam that I'm not a fan of per se, exactly,
Hmm.
whatever. But this is probably one of my more favorite Beams until you get to Booker's. Like we didn't like Baker's, for instance. You know what I mean?
Baker's salad, yeah.
Baker's was not our thing.
No,
Now, maybe at some point, if I just have the money and it's there again, maybe I'd buy a bottle, open it, have a drink, and let it
just let
sit
it sit for
for a while,
sure.
and then try again.
Like because I remember the one time that we had the Bookers on the show where I sat there at the beginning of the episode just dumping on Bookers about how hot it is and how spicy it is. It's just nothing but
It's always
butter.
barrel proof.
Yeah.
Booker's is always barrel
And then we actually tried it at the end of that episode, and I was like, "All right, I lied. This is pretty good."
proof. And that's what got me to
Yeah.
here. And then thinking, you know what I mean? I'm trying to learn my palate better, so I thought maybe that was a good idea to go there. And I did a little something. Um, I don't really do stuff like this when I'm just home alone either. I'm kind of just like sipping things, and I don't do this like mad science experiment
Yeah.
that we're doing here.
So
Um,
that kind of actually raises a good point. Like, so if you're just watching this, like, you're like, okay, I like bourbon. I'm gonna try some. Get some friends around and just buy a couple few bottles and like
get a friend. I
have
mean,
yourself
find
a
somebody.
tasting party and just be like, yeah,
You
let's
don't have a
try this
friend
out
or
and see
yeah.
what happens. Like, yeah, or just put out something on like your local Facebook group. Like, hey, I want to start a bourbon club and try some bourbon.
I
See you
invited you
down.
to the Bourbon Real Talk community on Facebook. I sent it to you yesterday because that's the one Randy Sullivan, who does Bourbon Real Talk,
Yeah,
he runs that show and
I
that group.
I don't know that I got it, but I'll check.
And well, it's probably like through Facebook. It might not even be Messenger. It might be like you have to be on. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But I'm going to say this: as much as and I'm not pandering because he said he would do a show with us at some point because he did, which is awesome. Thanks, Randy.
Yeah, that's
But
cool. It's awesome.
it's the one group where trolls are just like they don't even let them in, and
Nice.
they evacuate like everything in there is positive or just very like across the board. Like that's not my thing, but I understand because we all have our own palates. But
Yes,
that
that's
wasn't my thing, or it was way overpriced where I am. Don't come here to buy that. Like
right.
it's a very friendly, and
That's
some of the other
cool.
ones are just full of people who are like, "You suck," and that's terrible, and I'd rather have Jack Daniels, and you're like, "Okay, well, you need to go away forever." But Not the
So
same because of Jack Daniels, but
no,
just
but
meat
to
people.
that point, I'll tell you off camera because it has nothing to do with bourbon.
Ah, all right, fair enough. Fair
And
enough.
we are already well over time. So with that, go out, find yourself a single barrel, try it, see what you think. Just let us
Absolutely.
know. Put it in the comments. Be like, I had a single barrel of this, and I
It
really
was
liked it.
quite a different color too, though. I just
Yeah.
kind of am seeing that
Well,
now.
this is
These
also
ones look
black
kind of
label too,
similar.
so I don't know.
Yeah,
These are far more similar, but they're also a darker proof, higher proof. That
yeah. You can kind of almost see it
yeah.
go up. I think. Yeah,
But
but that was a little better.
anyway, I'm neat.
I'm rocks.
This has been the
The
Bourbon
Bourbon Barrel.
Barrel.